evening, SBC. Good evening, SBCC. Good evening to everyone else. North, south, east, west, perpendicular, down the street, up the tree, in the sewer, near the swimming pool, at the corner store, at the package
Movie
store.
stars.
This this is the October 26th edition of SBC. Well, Tuesday Talk or Wednesday Talk, whatever you want to call it. Glad you can join us. And I am your host and head teacher and van driver
Oh
and
no,
head chef, Mr. Michael Walker.
we can't learn nor can we eat. I mean, go ahead. Sorry.
You know what? This show go end before it starts. Y'all know that. I, I don't even know what I was gonna say next. So yeah, salutations. This might be the only time I speak to y'all tonight. So here we go. Let's just get started, okay? Andrea, glad to have you here. Jenna, great to have you here, daughter. Marcus Wilbanks, happy Wednesday to you, sir. Michael McKeever from the DMV, hello to you, sir. Glad to have you here. Kimberly Murphy, glad to have you here. You may need to trade places with your sister, though, but we'll talk about
You
that
don't want
later.
that.
Boy, it's getting wild. Anissa Brown, glad to have you here. Shell, great. That's one of the editors of the show. Great to have you here. Lee Jules, glad to have you. I think is this your first time? Help me out here. It's not?
I
Okay.
think so.
Okay. I think you might be a different picture though. Teresa Jones, great to have you here. Sydney from the West Coast. Good to have you here. Wait, we're seeing a whole bunch of y'all. TT, always great to have you here. Always good to have. She needs to be up here next. Y'all know that?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
I agree.
I concur.
Look at they can't even wait till I get started. Tara, good to have you here for the ATL.
That's how shoot your shot, queen.
Yeah. Regina Lowry, she been hanging around us. She been hanging around though. We might have to recruit her as well. Glad to have you here. Miss Sherry from H Town. Great to have you here. We got some more. Wait a minute. Tiffany Murphy running out already. My poor. Okay, we got that taken care of though. Okay, ooh, still getting some more. Wait, hold up. Denisha, great to have you here. Great, haven't seen you in a while. Great to have you here, Denisha. Okay, folks, y'all ready?
Yep.
Let's get things started, y'all. As you see, here's the pan. Chance already shaking his head. Okay, okay. Let's get started. Starting from my left, we got from the
The
Commonwealth of
Commonwealth of
Virginia.
Virginia.
Somebody turn down.
Somebody turn down.
Yeah, okay. From
Okay.
the com.
I'm the com.
Mm, Okay, now we got it. From the Commonwealth of Virginia, we got Miss Kitty. From the Sunshine State, we got Pastor Chauncey. Glad to have you here, sir. And then from South Carolina, we got Sister Tiffany Murphy. Y'all take a look at her tonight. Might be the last time you see her in a while. Also from the state of Alabama, we got Brother Marcus Wilbanks. Glad to have you here. And her first time here, I always been telling her she needs to be up here. Well, she's up here tonight. We're gonna see how she's gonna do. Now, y'all treat her right now. Y'all treat her right. We got Jewel Cassie Mendoza from Brooklyn. Glad to have each and every one of y'all here tonight. Okay. Y'all ready, folks? Let's get things started though.
Let's pray, saints.
Yeah, no. For these folks, this is a bad bunch right here. Okay.
I'm being modest tonight, y'all. I promise.
Okay. Oh. First things first. The first topic, and people have been wondering about, is what do they have to say? And how long do they have to say it? What do they have to say and how long do they have to say it? Okay. Here we go.
He has to say the words, will you be my lady? Will you be my woman? Will you be my girlfriend? Will you be my wife? You can't ask him, what are we? Or where is this going? Not if you want a man who leads. You can't ask him, so what is this? Not if you want clarity and assurance of what he wants and what you want are mutual. Otherwise, you won't know if he just agreed and said the words you wanted to hear because you applied pressure. He just wanted to keep the peace. He didn't want to hear your mouth. He didn't want to see you cry. He didn't want to argue. Listen more than you speak. Pay attention to what is said and what is not said, and watch to see if his actions match his words.
Oh boy, I'm ready.
Oh, yes, yes. Come on, y'all.
I'm ready.
And not wait, before you get started, Chauncey, it's going to apply to both genders, you know. What do we expect from the ladies, from the sisters, and ladies, what do you expect from the brothers? Okay? I want to do ladies first. Let's be polite. Tiffany, you're looking strange, so you want to go?
I'm just trying to understand, why is there harm in asking a question that you want information to? It's all in the how you ask, but I don't see anything wrong with asking any of those questions now. With that being said, I think that there is a time frame that those questions come. So I don't think those are first 3 or 4 phone conversation type questions. But over time, I don't, again, it's all in the how.
Okay, I get you. Not Chauncey.
So now I got to recur because you want me to, what I'm expecting from a woman. So my answer was totally man. So now I got to switch it around. I don't want pressure. I want to be allowed the opportunity to eventually ask those questions from my own mouth, and not have pressure, because I was in a pressure situation where I agreed to allow this woman to be my girlfriend when I didn't want her to be my girlfriend, and it ended 2 weeks later because I felt like I was forced by her and a common friend that we had. I was whooped. They got on me. They backed me to the corner where I had to say yes because it was too much pressure. And I didn't appreciate that. So when she was talking, I just saw that situation right before my eyes. I'm like, yeah, been there. So I just want a woman to allow me to get to that point, because maybe I'm not ready to say it yet, not because I'm wasting your time. Maybe I'm just evaluating a little bit more before I ask those series of questions, because those are serious questions, not play questions. So that's all I got to say about that.
But wait a minute. Shell Hall from Southern Jersey, she asks, since when is asking a question to start a clarity conversation pressure?
See, Shell come with that violence thing. She told me she was going to do this to me. She told me. I should have believed her. To answer that question is, well, let me explain the situation. It was this young lady that I was helping move into an apartment, and I was just being a gentleman, helping need. I'm a help her. I think what happened is she got a taste of my personality and how I operated, and then she started getting feelings. Now, I can't help I was helping you out. I didn't make anything. I was just, well, maybe being Chauncey is too much. That's a whole nother conversation for another time. But she got to the point where, have you talked to God about us? I'm looking like, man, I'm just a friend. And that's the type of pressure I'm coming on. Until one day we was having a conversation. She's like, have you made a decision yet? I'm like, I don't know what to do. Well, I'm done being your friend. Don't talk to me no more. And then she called my friend who called me. I'm like, fine, I'm making my girlfriend. So I'm tired of all this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Real story.
So you folded like a cheap deck.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. If I lost my man card that day, so be it.
So, Mike, can I comment back to him real quick?
Go ahead.
So I was going to say, so there's a difference between applying pressure and asking a question for clarity.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it goes back to timing because those aren't questions you lead out the gate with. But at the same time, I think that communication is imperative to understand, like after some dates and things, then you start having those conversations like, okay, so really what are we?
Mm-hmm.
Am I your woman? Like what, I mean, like kind of, I wouldn't ask it that way, but I would say like, what are we? What's the plan here? What's the thought process? Now, some guys see even that conversation 4 months in as pressure because they're like, man, I ain't ready to make a decision yet. I mean, and it's not saying you're wasting my time, but at the same time, I can't read your mind either. So I don't see anything wrong with asking a question. But Chauncey, in your case, she took it a little far, but in most cases, it's nothing wrong with asking those questions, ladies.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay. Okay. Let me read this and we'll go to Kitty. Men normally know when to bring that up. If you are reading the situation, the flow, the vibe, etc., should give you the hint when to bring that up. Hmm. You know what? Let me address that right there. Sometimes, and I don't mean to throw us brothers under the bus, but sometimes it takes a little more effort to tell us what we really need to know. We don't catch mixed signals. Tell us straight ahead what you would like. And again, speaking for myself, I don't want to ask too soon. Well, where are we? I read it for her, and this is just me. I read for her to ask me that. Now after a certain time, 3-4 months, I need to know something. To be honest with you, a month and a half, to be really honest with you. 45 days. I need to know, well, okay, we've been going out doing this, doing that. What are we? Well, we just talking. Well, isn't talking and dating the same thing? Maybe it's just me. Oh, go ahead, Kitty. Um, Kitty, darling.
I don't know. I was shaking my head because I guess depending on where you're from, what talking means, talking and dating are not the same thing.
I get you.
So talking is kind of like that getting to know you kind of thing. Dating is dating. So for me, talking and dating aren't the same thing. But to answer the question, I'm kind of on the same wavelength as Tiffany. I don't think there's anything wrong with asking that. I'd rather, like, as a woman receiving that question from a man, I'd rather him ask so that he's not making assumptions. And I would think that someone would want someone to, if that question is in their mind and they're confused or they would like clarity or even a sense of direction to see if we're still, if we're thinking the same things. And I would welcome that kind of conversation rather than the person kind of having these ruminating thoughts like, what am I? Does she like me? Are we dating? Are we heading? Like, don't be in your head. Ask me and let me tell you what I'm thinking. So I think, especially if you're of age, I'm almost 45. I'm not taking hints or any of that other stuff. I think at our age, we should be confident enough in ourselves and who we are as individuals to be able to express ourselves, to say, yes, I want this to go further, or no, I'm not there yet. And then allow that person the opportunity to either stay with you if you're not in the same place or to move on. I don't think of that as pressure. I think of it, like Tiffany said, as seeking clarity. Now, the whole timing of that conversation, I think, is very subjective because what you're doing in a month and a half may not be where I am in a month and a half. Some people click right away and they're able to start dating right away in a month. Some people take a lot more time to get to know someone and they might have that conversation at 6 months. So I think that all depends on that couple and what they're doing. But I don't think there's anything wrong with a man or a woman asking, where are we? Where are we going with this? I don't think that's a problem at all.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a
I-
problem with it. I wouldn't feel pressured if he asked me. Actually, I would be glad he asked me.
Mhm.
I would appreciate him wanting to have that mature conversation so that he has an understanding. I actually would welcome that. I would think it was a good thing that he decided to bring it up.
That's that intentionality. Like,
yeah, like he wants a clarification. He doesn't want to think something perhaps that he shouldn't be thinking. Or maybe he wants to move it forward and he wants to see if I'm in the same mind space. I think that's a great thing for him to ask.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Is that's where communication come in.
Yeah.
And I think most times we complain about relationships lacking communication.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what, the old saying, say what you mean what you say. You know, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
What is this? Is this casual dating? Is this, I don't know. Sydney says, as an adult, you are in charge of your relationship. Going to dating, I'm upfront. I'm looking for long term, leading to marriage. Always ask, what does a relationship mean to you? I'm not looking for friends with benefits. And Regina says, catch flights, not feelings.
I love it. I think when we are clear with our intentions, when we're clear with where we are, there's no misgivings.
Mm-hmm.
No one's like, oh, but I didn't think, oh, I didn't know. If I told you, then it's right out front. We don't have to guess. I don't even feel like we have time for that. Like, I feel like we're all past that stage where it's like that's like high school, young 20s, maybe early 30s. But where I am right now, let's go. What are we doing? And let's say what it is and let's move, because we have more time behind us than in front of us. So what are we doing? Let's do it. Let's go. So that's just my thoughts about it.
But let me ask this question, and I guess I'll
Okay.
be an advocate.
Okay.
What if we just start first date and we say, you know what? I'm dating with a purpose. I'm dating to get married.
Okay.
Then at that point, most often than not, it becomes a job interview. You know, we ask 21 questions. You know, what do you like to do? What's your favorite color? Do you have kids? Why you don't have kids? Etc. Ad nauseum and everything else. Okay. However, flip the side, people say, I'm just looking for friendship. Now that can be wide, that can be subjective, that's broad. You know, I'm looking for friendship. And sometimes people use that, I guess, to say that, I'm using Alabama term, to sly way get into a relationship without saying they're trying to get a relationship. And and people like to say, hey, let's go with the flow. Y'all know, y'all heard all this before. Hey, what are we? Well, we're just dating. Well, is something gonna come out of this? We'll just go with the flow. And sometimes I think that's dangerous right there. I think that's very dangerous. When they tell you that,
Run.
I think you yes, run.
I think it's a cop out because
exactly.
It gives you this vague space to be.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's like, oh yeah, we're going with the flow. So whatever happens, happens. Wada woo woo woo. Versus saying what you really want it to be. If you really want to be a friend, then it's like, you know what, I want to be friends, and this is what I want. If you know from the beginning that you want to be in a relationship that's going to lead to marriage, I feel like you're going to say that. Like, that's not something that you're going to hide. But if you have ill intentions, or if you have, again, you like, well, if I tell her I want to be her friend, or if I say this, that's going to appeal to her. Like, if you're trying to, like you said, to slyly get wherever you want to get, then you're going to dress it up, put it in a bow, and make it as nice and neat as you want to be. So again, how are you really respecting me right now? Or, are you just saying, you know what, let me just play with your feelings?
But they call that breadcrumbing. I heard that phrase earlier.
Yes.
And it was like, I'm going to give you just enough to kind of hang on to you and make you feel like this is what you think it is. Because it's not that I don't want anybody else to have you, but you have something that I feel like I need. Now, in most cases, if y'all just going with the flow, there's probably somebody else who's also filling another need in his life. And it's not necessarily saying it's physical. Some people, they may want the person that they can confide in, and you may be that person, and you're like, but you also hold them accountable. So they may have somebody over here that's not holding them accountable, that they whine to about everything. Then they might have somebody over here that's doing whatever. So it's like, if I can just make everybody just float here and nobody pressures me to get out of here, because in most cases, if a guy makes that statement, most women don't run.
Mm-hmm.
We stay. And we're just like, man, but I'm really happy here. He makes me feel good. Like, he does all this stuff for me. And, I think I'm okay. And then you get 3-4 more months down the road, and then you ask the question again, and he's like, I'm still feeling it out. I'm I love you, right? He's giving you enough to hold on to you. And so you're like, okay, yeah. And then when your friends start asking you, you're like, we doing our own thing. We different than everybody else, So then you start to logically reason this thing out. Am I lying, ladies?
I think
be a different breed, but
no, I view that differently, only because, and you made a good point, the woman doesn't leave. To me, if a guy is saying we just going with the flow, and I don't want to just go with the flow, then you're not for me. But if I elect to stick around after I've already heard this wishy-washy response, that's my fault.
Yep.
Because like you said, then we start creating this relationship in our head. He didn't do that. He told you, we just going with the flow. I think part of our problem as women is when men tell us stuff, we don't listen to what they're saying. And I'm not talking about people who are lying, pretending to love you, telling you they love you. That's deceptive. But if someone literally comes out and says, we just going with the flow, he already let you know where his mind is at. He's not committing to anything. And if we hear commitment in our heads, that's our fault, because that's not what he said. Yep. So if someone tells me we're just going with the flow and I don't want to just go with the flow, then I'm going to go about my business. If he says, I just want to be friends, then we just friends, which means I can talk to whomever I want to also, because we're just friends.
Yep.
He did not promise me a commitment in that statement. So I need to stop acting like I got one out of him and then complain and play victim later. That's my fault.
Are we also brave enough
friends with benefits? He already told me what he after. And if I don't want to give up benefits, then I go about my business.
But are we brave enough to say that? Are we brave enough to say, you know what, guy A, is there someone else that's on the bench waiting for me, that's waiting there for you? Is there someone who thinks you're their man? Like, are we asking those questions? Am I brave enough to say that to you? Am I brave enough to say, okay, is there somebody, if you give them the chance, are they there waiting for you?
Maybe it's me, but if a guy tells me we just going with the flow, I don't care if he got somebody else.
That's my assumption.
Because it leaves the option for me to have someone else, because we're just going with the flow. So I don't care. I don't care, because he's already, if I'm sticking around once again and I'm cool with go with the flow, that means that not only can he go with the flow, so can I. So I don't care if he has somebody else. He's already let me know we're not committed to one another. So there's already that expectation in my head that there's the possibility of another. And guess what? For him, there's a possibility of another. It's not just men who have that option. We have that option as well. So in that situation, I wouldn't ask those questions. Now, if he promised a commitment or acted a different way, like I said, that's deceptive. That's something different. But if a guy comes out and lets me know it's a no strings attached type situation, or we just friends, great. We just friends. I'm going to be just friends with you. I'm going to be just friends with him. I'm going to be just friends with him. I didn't say nothing physical, Tiffany. We're friends.
She ain't got clutch of pearls. She ain't got clutch of pearls.
Find something close.
Just getting to know someone as a friendship, then I can be friends with multiple people too, just like you can. Women need to stop locking ourselves down to people who don't want to be locked down.
Right.
We keep clinking on everybody when that man's standing there telling you he don't want you in that way right now. He's sitting there, oh, but he's so sweet to me. he already let you know where his mind is at.
That's what I was just saying.
Absolutely.
Listen to him.
Right, and that's so important. To my sisters, let me give this bit of advice right quick before I get my final comments on this. You can always tell them to call Tyrone.
But they can't use your phone. Though. They can't use my phone.
You know that's not.
You can't use my phone.
You know that's not going to be your final comment on that. I don't even know why you open your mouth, fix your mouth to say that.
But I will say this: you don't have to subject to something that, and I agree with what's happening. You don't have to subject yourself to something that you don't want to do. I have been in situations where I'm just looking for a friend. My response was not so nice. I just told them to have a great day. I just ceased conversation in that moment. But you ain't wasting my time. Because you know exactly what you want. Never let anyone stop you from what you want. Let them regret not having you in the end of the day. I just said a word right there. Let them have the regret. Let them have the regret. Because you know exactly what you want. And you shouldn't be wasting your time on things that you know what you desire. Don't do it. Don't give out of those space. Don't even give them an inch or a mile. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. Because the one thing, when you know what you want, then you know your value. And once you know your value, everybody ain't gonna be able to hold that value because they can't make decisions. And some people play around because they have a number 2 and number 3 along with you. And they try to cipher through all that and trying to figure out, why you say tell me you just have multiple options right now? That lack of communication. Because most people gonna tell you, hey, listen, I ain't got time for all that. I don't want to be an option. I want to be the main thing.
And in this day and age, we ought to know better. We ought to know better. If we meet someone, 9 times out of 10, they get at least one backup. You know, we ought to know better. You know, Marcus, how many times have you been flowing in the state of Alabama?
None. I have not been flowing here in the state of Alabama. Okay. To me personally, there's no such thing as flowing anyway. Listen, at the end of the day, not me, not Jewel, not Mike or Kitty, Chauncey or Tiffany, none of us are going to go with the flow. We all are in charge of our own relationships. It depends on how you want to define your relationships. I mean, listen, I'm going to keep this short. We are in charge. We are in charge of our relationships. We get to define how we want to proceed in our relationships. And believe me, there's going to be a time. There's going to be a time when you want to just go with the flow, and that will set up your next venture elsewhere. Or let's just say, let's go have the talk. I say, baby, let's go have the talk. It could get really awkward. It's going to get really awkward sometimes. But really, though, it's also going to set up where you're going to go from here. How you want to take it to another level. How you want to proceed in this relationship. And as everyone has pointed out already, we could be friends, or we could go ahead and start dating. Hey, there's always 2 options. Go with the flow or have the talk. And sometimes it can get awkward. It's plain and simple, y'all.
So, Mike, can I be transparent for a second?
Please.
So I've been said girl who was in that situation where things were going, and what I heard was, oh, you know, it's gonna get there. It's gonna get there. But he was telling me, you know, you cool, like we good. And I, you know, in my head, I did the thing. I built up the whole relationship and was like, man, this is awesome. Like, it's going great. And in essence, that's not what was happening. In essence, he was giving me exactly what he said, which was, yeah, we good right where we at. It's not going any further. It's not going backwards. We right here. And it's not going outside of that. But also, too, it was a moment where, you know, like self-esteem was an issue. It was like, well, I don't know if guys really like, you know, whatever. So you kind of like, well, this guy's at least treating me nice, you know. So you kind of hang around with this thread of hope. But it wasn't until I started, like Chauncey said, kind of tapping into that value piece. And it took some time of stepping away from dating altogether and just being like, you know what, just turn it all off for a minute and figure out what is it. Then this is advice for all of us to figure out, okay, what do I need in a relationship? What do I need from a relationship? And what am I willing to give in a relationship? And what am I willing to tolerate and not tolerate? It was like, once I identified that, you know, it's like you learn a lot. And then when intentionality shows up, you're like, whoa, wait, this is what I asked for. But this is, whoa, wait a minute. Like, you know, you got to digest it. You got to digest it because you've dealt with all the other foolishness over time. So you begin to appreciate things in a very different way. So that's my little moment of transparency. Go ahead, Brother Chauncey. Look, he was going to say something. Go ahead.
Oh, Reverend, you're talking real good tonight, Reverend. I'm excited. Yes. And just to pick on what you're saying and giving a little more nickels and dimes and quarters into what your statement.
Come on, throw some foldable, but get some foldable.
Yes, my fellow preacher. Yes. What we have to realize is that value piece I was talking in, it takes time. Because what happens is you don't mess around and dated so many people that they devalue you because you was trying to chase something that you desire, but it wasn't in the right person. And what happened is you have to step back and learn you all over again. And that's just not only in relationships, that's a life thing. You've been in situations where the old value taken away, or people try to manipulate you to be this person when you lost who your natural self is. Now you got to go and capture that back. At times it's difficult and it takes long. But at the end of the day, when you go back and find that original person who you are, it's going to be great because it's going to be for somebody. I always say this. I'm supposed to be viewed by everybody, but only meant for one. I only meant for one. I only been created for, I believe God has created all of us for one person. The journey sometimes is difficult getting to that one person if God's will for you to be married, because that's not God's will for everybody. I'm just going to put that out there right now. I ain't going to have anybody talking. Johnson told me I'm going to get nope. Do not put that on me.
Let me write that on my book.
God's will for you to be married. He has designed you for one. And what we have to realize, we don't have to change who we are, because the Bible declares we are fearfully and wonderfully made. That means I tell people that God don't do patch-up jobs. God creates masterpieces. Okay?
Okay. But now now that's a good segue. That's a good one right there. You know, we just need a minister of music to do his or her job right now. But that's a good segue. But before we go to the next topic, it is something what Tiffany said. But before we go to the next topic, you know what we do?
Like, subscribe, and share.
That's it. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Thank you, Mr. TV House. Okay. Tiffany, you said like, what is, and I'm probably paraphrasing it. What is it I'm looking to get out of a relationship? You know, and that's a question we really don't ask sometimes. You know, we think about the general things. I'm looking for a companion. I'm looking for someone to kick it with. I'm looking for that special friend, so on and so forth. That's the basic surface things, though. But what about something deeper than that, though? What are we really, truly expecting from a relationship? And with that said, y'all about to answer too. And y'all gonna answer first. Go ahead. You're about to pop.
Go ahead, Kitty, because I was going to throw a caveat on it and say, you know, again, the most times the question is, what am I expecting from somebody else? But I think you also have to understand, what are you willing to give? And we never talk about what we're willing to give. So it's a twofold question.
Yes,
but for me,
absolutely.
I'm like, if you asked me, what am I looking for out of a relationship, I would switch that to, what do I need out of a relationship? Because you can find a lot of random stuff everywhere.
Absolutely.
But for me, the need is, I need intentionality. I need someone that doesn't leave me guessing. I need someone that can be a place of peace, someone that can actually be a voice of reason, you know, and except the list goes on, but none of those things are superficial.
Mhm.
So
I
that's
get
kind
you.
of my thought process. But go ahead, Kitty. You got something too.
No, I thought of it in a little bit of a different way, only thinking about what you were saying when you were being transparent about not knowing our value and how that can lead us into different types of situations that aren't good for us. So when Mike said that, like, what is it that you are expecting beyond just those basic surface things? I think if we're not in a healthy place emotionally and
Mm.
stuff, then we start looking for that relationship to meet other kinds of needs. So I've been in a low self-esteem place. I have that confidence to say that now, but I didn't have that 20 years ago. So
Mm.
I was in relationships or situations, I'll put that way,
Mhm.
that in retrospect, I wasn't in them because of the person. I was in them because I was craving attention or low self-esteem, craving someone to love me or make me feel beautiful or those things. So I would accept situations that weren't good for me
Mhm.
because, like Mike said, what I really deeply wanted, subconsciously wanted, was to be wanted or to be loved or, you know, to
Mm.
be cared for, to have attention. And yeah, that leads us into, like you described, Tiffany, sometimes situations that are not good for us. And when I think about it, that leads us into hearing those things that that person is not really saying. So they're like, oh, go with the flow. We can just be friends. But subconsciously, to me, that's giving me hope because now I got somebody texting me, good morning, beautiful, when I didn't have that before. Or I got
Mhm.
someone who every once in a while throws me a bone and wants to take me to the movies or grab something to
Mm.
eat real quick. And that makes me feel special because I lack that in my life. You know, just in a, I'm not saying it for real, but you know what I mean? So I've been that way. So yeah, Mike, I think it takes, like Tiffany said, growing and valuing yourself in order to be able to get to that point where you seek intentionality and this and that. That's a lot of self, what is that, introspection,
Mhm.
to be able to say that I need to work on me. So that
Mm.
way, when I get into a relationship, I'm coming with a healed me, and then I know what to look for. Because otherwise, when I'm not healed, I settle for not just men, women, you know, do it to men too, who aren't intentional or who are stringing us along. And we go along with it because we're not healed inside.
And I'll tell you, it's so crazy because even though you're healed, it's like when that intentionality shows up, it's like you almost are shocked, your system shocked by it. You're like,
Mm.
whoa, like wait. And it's you're tempted to be like, okay, should I trust what they're saying to me?
Mhm.
Okay, they're they just being, why are you being so nice to me? It's like you're tempted to do that. But again, that goes back to that communication. And so it's an ever evolving cycle, but it's all becoming an adult and having an
Mhm.
adult relationship and getting out of, I don't want to say this because I don't want to hear what they're going to say to me, or I don't want to say this because I don't want to feel like I'm pressuring somebody, or I don't want to feel like I'm whatever. It's like, no, I would rather have that 20 minutes of a difficult conversation and we leave on the same page than hold on to it, and then now I'm bottling it, all of that back in,
Mhm.
becoming the person that I was before because I didn't say anything. So, but yeah, so it's a good conversation. Y'all go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Jewel. Or you gonna say something? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Okay.
You go
That's
ahead,
good.
Mike. You go
You good.
ahead.
You good. You good. Okay. It, we're gonna lead to this, but again, what all y'all said leads to the next topic. But we're in the next topic anyway. So here we go, y'all.
If you are in a relationship where like things are starting to fizzle out, right? Understand that in my adolescence, I would have chosen, I'm gonna just put it out there. In my adolescence, I would have chosen passion over security. In my adulthood as a grown-ass woman, understanding how important relationship is, I'm choosing security all day. Because the difference is with the tools, you can teach passion. I can I could put a bed of roses out here. Y'all, let's just say you guys are my fellas and you're not romantic. I can create romance. I can create adrenaline in this relationship. What I can't create is security. I cannot make you guys honest, decent, good human, amazing communicators that are committed to me.
So when you say security, though, I thought when you said security at first, you were talking about, it's financial security. You're just talking about just emotional security. Is somebody
emotional and financial is a part of it. Okay. Everybody has their own definition of security. I define it as needing both. So I'm gonna just tell you straight up. Yep. I need to know that, one, yes, you will give me your last dollar, but that also you know how to make another one. Okay. And then two, I need to know that I am the priority when it comes to being your top choice in relationship, that you don't desire anybody else. I need to know that you want to commit a relationship with me, and it is about us.
I got you.
So when I speak to security, I'm talking about both of those things.
I got you.
Because when you are lacking without anything, right? When you're lacking commitment, when you're lacking finances, when you start operating from a place of lack, you then are operating in a scarcity mindset, and you'll do anything to get that back. Yep. You'll do anything. When you are starved, you will take anything, you will digest anything, you will step outside of your true self and your core values, and you become a beast.
Go ahead, y'all. And let me put the topic up here. Passion or security. Passion or security. Go ahead, y'all.
I heard what she said, and I understood it. If I had to choose one, if I had to choose passion or security, I think now I would choose security, because I feel like passion is something that we can get along the way. Security, I don't know so much about that one. I feel like security is more long term, and passion could be taught, it can be acquired, but I feel like security is one of those things where either you have it or don't. And I'm not necessarily taught. Financial is part of it, but also the security of knowing that with you, I'm in a safe space, that my mind and my body is in a safe space with you. So it's like, when we're together, I don't have to worry about this, I don't have to worry about that. And I feel like that's part of the security. I mean, knowing that you're in a safe space, knowing that, no matter what goes down, you got me, that it allows me to be vulnerable. It allows me to be soft. It allows me not to take off my superwoman cape and to be the woman that you want me to be. Versus, if I got to get me and you, good grief. I can't let down my guard. I can't let down my guard. I got to be hard. I got to be Brooklyn all day. Nobody wants to do that. If I've done that all day at work, if I've done that all day in the world, when I come home, I want to be able to take it off and just be your girl. And I know I was listening to something, and they were talking about where, people in a relationship, they have to be the fireman, they have to be the nurse, they have to be the doctor, they have to play all these roles. And the only thing that they really want to do is be your significant other. So that's where I am. I just want to do that. I don't want to do 5 jobs when I come home. I want one.
I get you. Before we go any further, let me read these comments. Reginald says security 1, passion 2. Sounded like a score, didn't it? Lee Jewell says top choice. When you're in relationship, he or he should be your only choice. Okay. Nina Montgomery, glad to have you here tonight. At this age, I want security. Tarla says security. And Lee Jewell says security is more important. Reginald says security goes both ways. It's not just a woman thing. Lavinia Horn, glad to have you here tonight. Being secure can help you be passionate, but not the reverse. Security first. Let me get to this. TT says security. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to come to my table with no job, living with your mama, trying to offer me the world. Passion is temporary with the wrong person. Ebony, good to have you here this evening. At some point, one or both parties will not be able to provide passion in a relationship. Security should be more important. Will you be around until the end? That's what I would like to know. And Wanda, glad to have you here at this age. Security. And Jenna says, I want it all, but security first. Okay. Marcus. Passion or security?
It is a tough choice for me. But I'm thinking in the sense of one of my favorite colors is red. Red is like the color of fire, passion, power. Now, listen to me when I say this.
I hear you, sir.
If you want to bring the fire to me, if you want to bring that fire to me, bring it in a sense of the way that will make me feel secure. Don't go half stepping on me. See, when I said in one of these topics, on one of the previous topics here, Mike, I was looking for a Band-Aid. That was my big mistake. That was my big mistake anyway. And my ex-girlfriend simply refused to bring the fire to me. And she simply refused to bring the fire to me, and for good reason. She'd rather go from red to cold blue. Really cold blue.
She was cold-blooded.
Yeah. Believe me, mentally and emotionally, she was very cold and not considering me in a relationship that would make me feel secure. So, in my estimation, I seen the comments. I understand where you're coming from. Y'all want security. But if you don't bring the fire to me, if you don't bring cold red to me, then if you don't bring cold red to me and make me feel secure, then that's telling me something. You're going to go cold blue on me. So don't bring cold blue if you don't bring cold red. Okay. If you bring cold red, fine. Make me convinced. Make me feel convinced that it's going to be cold green to me. It's going to be all kosher. But don't bring the other colors of the rainbow here because I won't feel secure if you don't bring the fire, man. Plain and simple.
Sister Salt, y'all heard that now. Y'all heard that. And he's serious. When Marcus is serious like that, y'all better watch out. I'm over here shaking myself, to be honest with you, though. But y'all heard what he said. He said that. What he said.
Look,
say what you mean.
Mean what you said.
And he said
and
that.
Believe me.
He meant that.
And that's and that's okay. Yeah, I really meant it right there because, like I said before, and listen, I already discussed this in one of the other conversations back on Saturday. I think my mother's a God-fearing woman. My mother's a God-fearing woman, and believe me, earlier in the day when my mom and my dad was all together like this, my mom had told me what type of man that my dad was before he found the crown of glory and gone to heaven. God rest his soul. Anyway, he was definitely cold blue, y'all. He was definitely cold blue in the beginning. Don't even know how to treat a woman. Don't even know how to understand a woman. Don't even know how to understand the means of a relationship. Anyway, that's why I rather choose passion than security. Anyway, but listen, at the end of the day, what's happened in the past is done in the past. We're trying to look forward, y'all. We're trying to look forward. All right. So, like I said, bring the fire, y'all. Bring the fire.
And what you just said made me think that it's on the surface, it may seem like an obvious choice. Hey, I want security though, but you have security and no passion. then you're just a glorified roommate or something like that. You get what I'm saying? And then again, if you have passion, then what about the security? You know, folks, it's about to get cold, y'all.
But see, my thing is, I think that if you offer me security, that means that you are passionate about me. So you're gonna make sure I'm warm. You know, because if it's somebody I'm just, you know, if it's just a passionate situation, I don't really care what happened when I leave the room. But if I care about you, that means I'm gonna follow up and make sure you're okay. And I'm gonna make sure you're okay whether you're in a passionate situation or not. Because in my mind, when I heard security, I heard spiritual, emotional, and physical. Then I actually wrote down 3 questions with that mug. Question number 1 was, can you protect my peace? That's number 1. Number 2, can you cover me on the days when life is hitting me and it feels like hell? Can you cover me on those days? And then the third thing was, can you yield for me to also be all of that for you?
Say that. I don't know what else. Go ahead, Jewel.
I think we've all been in those relationships where it was passionate and it was just passion and it was nothing else but passion. Some of us might have to think and some of us might not. The person just popped in your head. Okay? Okay? Yeah. So,
turning sheets over and can't keep them washed. Go ahead.
Oh, ain't that good?
That's it. So when you said that, Marcus, when I heard you, the passion, I was like, okay, all right, I heard you. But I'm sorry, as an adult, when the act is over and you go home, what do I have? Sheets and pillows, and I'm in bed alone. So if I have security, whether you're in my bed or not, you have my heart, and there's a space for me, and I know there's a space for me. But if there's just passion, however many minutes we were there, it's all I have, and I have my memory. That's all I have.
And Jewel, that goes back to if you actually care, if I care about you and you care about me, after all that's said and done, we won't even be built on that cornerstone. Everything else, that's supplemental. It's not the foundation. Because whenever that's the foundation, all the supplemental stuff, if you flip that coin, now this becomes sinking sand over here. This becomes sinking. But if I can build the foundation back the other way, where all of these components are in place, and in that supplemental, we can always go back over here. But over there, that gets with age, you can't always keep, you know, even though something.
And that's what I'm thinking about. I think if we don't have a foundation, it's not going to work. And so if it's just passion, and that passionate piece leaves us, then what? Then we're roommates. Like Mike said, we're roommates now. So I don't need a roommate. I need someone who, whether there's passion, whether there's not, if we sitting on the porch and we rock and we look over at each other, we have a joke and we laugh, that's what I want. Because that's what's going to take us to it. And because, you know, it's bigger than us. You know, it's not just me. It's not just you. You know, God didn't send me to you for, you know, the bedroom. He sent me for a bigger purpose. He sent me, you know, you're my purpose partner. And there's something that you and I have to do so we can fulfill our purpose. Now, come on now, again, and I don't want to keep saying it, but I'm just saying, we know those people in our lives who have just been our sheet partners. We know who they are. And that's not the person that you, all right, Mike, you know her. Okay.
Mike caught a flashback.
Mike had a whole testimony service. Brother Chauncey, go on over to the altar and get them tissue boxes.
He had to cut off his camera.
He cut off the camera.
But when you have your sheet partner, Mike, come on back, Mike. Your sheet partner, is that who you want to be on the porch with?
But Jewel speaking a good word over here. She
Is
said,
that-
Yeah.
is
Oh
that-
yeah.
Can you be on the porch with your sheet partner? Because now all you got is memories. What y'all talk about now? You ain't rolling in them sheets. What you talking about? Is she gonna wash them sheets? What's going on?
And are you the only one being rolled up in said sheets? Because if he's just your sheet partner, somebody, because we ain't out here just being like, oh, I just need to wake up and go do this. No, you need some physical, emotional things happening too. So I guarantee you feeling a need. You might be, because somebody asked this question one time, and I had this conversation with somebody recently, and I said, "Are you a need or are you a want?"
Both.
And so when y'all think about that, think about it. If with people, are you a need or are you a want?
You can be both.
And I'm
with you, Kitty.
But which
You so wrong for that.
Can we do both?
But which would you rather be? Would you rather be a need or would you rather be a want?
Both.
I want to be a need. If I'm a need, then that means I'm gonna be a want. If I'm a need, I'm gonna be a want.
If I'm a want, I'm a need.
No, because if you a want, what you able to give in your want state might run out one day, and then the need is no longer there because you didn't build a need on the foundation. Then you over here trying to need dough when he over here needing things. So it just
My brothers and sisters. My brother and my brothers and my sister. I have some things I need to say right now. First of all, to answer the question, do you want passion or you want security? I want a 2-piece and a biscuit with a Coca-Cola, please. Had to get that one off my chest. I'm sorry. I'd rather have neither. And the reason why is because I feel like I'm putting myself on the expectation of something that's fantasy when I desire reality. Because you can't have one without the other. You need both to have something to make you say, wow. And I want to comment on Tiffany, on her statement, because it's a beautiful statement. Am I a want or am I a need? You can put wants on layaway. But that need, you got to save up for that need and get it at one time. Because when you put things on layaway, you can't have the option of saying, I don't want it no more. Put it back on the shelf. But that need, that's something I need to save my nickels and my dimes. So when I go and get it, I don't have to never worry about putting it in layaway. I can purchase it because I done saved up. So what that looks like for a person, I get myself together. So when it's time to go and get what I want, I'm going to get my need. I'm in position to get my need because I have everything for my need. Wants, you put a little at a time and you can say no more. But you'll never go back on that need because I've been waiting for you for a long time. And when you want something for a long time and it becomes a need for your life, it adds extra value to already you have. It's like it's like this, and we grown.
Go
I'm
ahead.
giving up sex because I want to be one with my wife, so I'm not entertaining fluses no more. I'm saving myself. Lord have mercy. I'm preaching good right now tonight.
I think we need an
Come on, brother Tyson. Come on,
come on, brother. Yes, sir.
Come on now.
Because you just had a whole mouthful right there, like that.
So
that
ladies, next time a man come in your lifetime, my son, you will want. Tell them I ain't nothing you put on layaway. I'm something you save up.
Not even on a Walmart layaway either.
Keep the need, because the need is maintenance. The need requires maintenance, so you got to put effort in for that.
You got to put some work in. You better put some sweat, blood, and tears. Man, you are proud of that need.
Yeah,
oh God.
Yeah, with that need, you can't put the dipstick in there.
No,
every so often. You need to do everything.
Okay, now I understand why I'm a thirst trap. Now that's a whole other conversation.
No, but Mike is right. Like, you can't just be like, oh, I gotta check the oil once every 17 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, but you gotta the need. It's like getting a car that you really, really want versus one you just picked up because you had to get something. The car that you really, really want, you're gonna wash it, you're gonna vacuum it, you're gonna make sure people don't put trash in it.
Touch your car.
Yeah, you gonna make sure the thing right. But if you just got something out here just because you can get somewhere, or the rental car that probably ain't all yours, you know, now you don't care what happened to it. You can back into a pole as long as I got your insurance. I got mine.
And that puts into both conversations in one time. With that need, you'll both be passionate about it, and you make sure it's defense and security.
Yep.
That won't, for lack of better words, sorry, you just won't give a damn about it.
But needs also collide, because if I'm a need, 9 times out of 10, you have something that I need too.
Yeah, and we make
so those needs are gonna grow. The needs gonna grow, and you gonna wait. The rest of that's gonna come, but you got.
And then you're gonna have that passion. I feel like then it's gonna come, because I'm gonna be vulnerable enough. I'm gonna say, "Hey, I know that he has me. I'm his safe space." You gonna get something else if I know.
Right. Check this out, and it's gonna bless the body tonight. You cannot find your need on clearance. It's always full value.
Find me in the back of the store. Yes, sir. I'm on the mannequin up front. Hey, you got to find me.
I'm not on the clearance. I am not on the 20% off. I'm frontline expensive because I'm fifthly and wonderfully made. And he will pay top dollar. You can go to Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, or anywhere else, find something cheap. I bet you won't last long.
That part.
Yeah.
Haven't you heard buy cheap, buy twice?
Come on now.
Oh God, it's church in this place tonight. Oh glory.
Yeah. Glory. Yeah. A coupon code won't help you with me.
No sir.
Come on.
No sir.
And you know what? I'm not gonna say it.
Don't say it.
You might as well go ahead and say it.
Stop window shopping. I'm gonna leave that alone. That's all I gotta say about that.
I see some people out here in the comments. They declaring some things. They say I am not on clearance. They say I can't be purchased on sale.
And you know what? I'm top quality. You will not find me on Amazon.
So you got to work to get to me.
You got to work to get to me. Matter of fact, you know what? It's like an auction. You got to bid high for me.
And with that said, 90 days, same as cash. So we got.
There you go.
Y'all done took some things from this conversation tonight. We done took some words.
Y'all better download this episode or do something.
You've been blessed.
I know, and imagine the after party. And this Wednesday, Tuesday talk. One more thing before we go, and then we through. Y'all gonna have to comment on it. Just something I just want to show y'all. And we'll be done with it, and we'll move on to the announcements.
What in the Mississippi couldn't speak?
Oops. Here we go again. I'm sorry.
What in the Mississippi couldn't spirituals is going on here? Harvey Watkins would never.
I know you said not to comment, But that's the reaction when you find out Chick-fil-A is open on Sunday.
Kitty. Kitty, here we go.
Oh God, Jesus!
Look, that man heard this conversation and he said he felt that thing. He said he felt the mighty Russian word telling him to value himself a little differently. That's what he heard, and that's what he said. He called it. That thing hit
He
him.
forgot the words, and that's why he did that.
They somebody else took the song from him, and he was like, "Nope, I got to get my song back." He's like, "Oh, I got something for him. I'm gonna get this."
Oh, he took away my soul.
Can you imagine in slow motion that fall? Oh my goodness!
They look like they're used to I'm sorry. At that age, you shouldn't be throwing yourself on the floor. You could break something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like your body hurt the next day.
Oh man.
And then he had the nerve to roll.
Oh God, I should never came out. That's the first thing that came to my mind when I saw that fall. That man realized Chick-fil-A is open on Sunday.
And Jenna says it best. I'm going to have to use that one if I forget the word.
Real quick. So my church, we had this thing, right? And I don't usually sing, but they were getting the women together to have like a little women's choir, right? And so one of the girls who was an actual singer, and I was sitting there like, I can't sing. I don't know what I'm gonna do. She was like, when in doubt, shout. So
if it had not been
glory, she was actually part of the choir. When in doubt, shout. So if you forget the words, start praising.
Oh, yeah, but I was banned from the panel for a while.
No.
You forget the words. Oh, just quicken.
Hey,
if it had not been Jesus.
Say, I thought about it. Yes.
He's good to me. Nobody will say anything.
Oh, yes.
On that note,
my.
We are way out of time. Okay, it's time for the announcements. Mr. Television announcer, if you're able to do it, let's go.
All right, now coming over next at around 1:30, maybe so. We're gonna talk. We're going to the after party in this Hump Day edition of Wednesday Talk After Party. The Zoom link will be posted in the groups at around 1:30 for you, the Single Black Christians and Single Black Christian Connections people. Make sure you click on the Zoom because we're going to talk about this and what in the Mississippi Mass Choir. What else can we talk about right now? So join us at the after party, y'all. And as usual, please make sure you come back to the Zoom around Saturday night at around 10:05 p.m. Eastern time. Exclusively for you again, the purple and the red groups here on this fine station. Make sure you come in, more of the same, and oh Lord, enter at your own risk. That's all I can tell you, man. And make sure you come back again, folks. Make sure you settle down, take your shoes off if you had to, and relax for another.
No, please don't take your shoes off. I'm sorry.
It's another Tuesday talk. It's gonna be the first in the month, y'all. I can't believe it's gonna be the first in the month. Bone Thugs and Harmony style for Single Black Christians and Mike Walker SBC Tuesday Talk edition, 9:05 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you get your names on the dotted line and make sure you get your popcorn ready. That's all I can tell y'all.
If it had not been glory.
Oh man. With all that being said, Brother Mike, you got any more that we need before we sign off?
What's up?
Oh
God. Why did I say that?
Thank you, Kitty, Chauncey, Tiffany, Marcus, and Jewel with her first time.
Oh,
you just like
welcome.
You did good, sister. You did good, sister.
Yes. Very nice, Jewel. Very nice.
Thank you.
Way to represent
by all of you. Thank you.
Can you imagine?
way to represent the borough of Brooklyn.
Yes, I'm from the Bronx, Jewel.
Brooklyn in the house.
BX all day, baby.
Brooklyn.
I don't know where neither one of them at. Yes.
BX all day.
All right. We need to sign off, y'all.
And to the studio audience, thank y'all for y'all support and everything else. Thank y'all. In a few minutes, we'll see you at the after party.
Oh, Jesus.
Until next week.
Oh, God's in this place. Yeah.
The Lord say the same. We see y'all next time. Bye. Please, bye, y'all. Bye.